And we're here. We're live. We're
We're live.
streaming.
Good
Absolutely.
evening, everybody. Welcome to our stream. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the World Catfishing Championship. We'll let a few people come in here and we'll get started. If you got any questions, write them over on the side here and we'll get to them. We started this event. Me and Damien kind of got in cahoots at the last Catfish Conference and talked about, maybe putting a really nice tournament with an expo. And I think that was a great idea. So we've kind of joined forces, and he's going to work the tournament for us, and I'm going to do the expo. And the goal is to get more spectators into the sport, more fans into the sport by creating an upscale, I guess I want to say, tournament event for the guys that want to excel into uh, a higher market, I guess, or something to reach for. There's really nothing out there right now tournament wise to reach for. They've got plenty of really great tournaments out there, the Ice Bowl, George Young Jr. stuff. But it's kind of like if you got a boat and money and show up, you can fish it no matter what. But there's a certain group of guys, and there's a lot of guys out there, not just a certain group, but a lot of guys that want to excel and reach for something that's a little bit more. That about right, Damien?
Oh yeah, especially as an avid tournament angler as myself, man. I loved it. So I've won several really big events from Cabela's to Bama Blues, and dude, though I felt really good about winning them, and I was super excited when I went down to Savannah, Tennessee in 2023. The last year the WCC was there, Steve had called me up and said, "Hey man, we want to get some guys, some younger guys involved. Sorry about that. My computer screen's messing up here. Some younger guys involved. Won't you come down here and try us out?" Well, I seen the belts and the title of the world champion, man. Dude, you know how excited I was when I won that. Although I didn't win the money I won at Bama Blues, I was more excited because of the title, the world champion. And me and Steve had designed a tournament that, hey, it is going to be a big deal if you win the world championship. It's going to be set apart. I can guarantee you this: in the next 3 years, at any given time, you will know who the top 10 anglers in the U.S. is.
Yeah. Well, this thing, the whole world championship started years ago, back when I first started catfishing. That was the biggest thing 20, 25 years ago. I wanted to go win that. I fished it several times, didn't get to win it. Unfortunately, the guy that started it, Ken Freeman, passed away. And then when the guy took it over for Ken Freeman for 3 or 4 years, I noticed it just kind of going downhill and downhill. And I said, that event's real nostalgic for me. So I'd like to kind of build it back up. And that's kind of, I started helping JR Sweat with that for a couple years, and we were really going to kick it up. But I don't know if Savannah could have held what we're fixing to do here. But and unfortunately, JR died, and I kind of inherited the world championship. So I thought, let's try to continue building it up and see where we can go from there with it. So it's really nostalgic for me. I mean, I'm not going to be able to fish it, but I'd love to be able to world championship myself. But I guess them days are past, and we're gonna try to make something for the young. I mean, not however old you are, you can come fish this thing. As far as if you're 18 years and older, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I know that's messed up a lot of people. The youth is our future, things like that. But this tournament's not designed for that. We've got a lot of stuff to do for the youth. A lot of tournaments have stuff for the youth. But this one, we're trying to make it a little more. I don't want to say prestigious, but there's nothing out there for these anglers to reach for a title like such as the World Championship, and we're excited about bringing it to you, and hopefully everybody else can kind of see the vision and roll from there.
Well, as a father, and I got a 7-year-old, and my dream is to have my 7-year-old later on in life become my partner, my main partner, which is any father's dream. It is. But I also want to have something to reach for. Like when they're kids and you say, hey, they're infatuated basketball, what they want to do is be a professional basketball player when they get older. Or if it's they're infatuated with NASCAR, I want to be a NASCAR driver when I get older. I want to give my kids something to reach for. And if we're allowing them to do it now, they ain't got nothing to reach for when they get older.
Right.
And also we want it to be on a professional level, man. We want it to grow it into the bass industry where people are sponsoring you with trucks, sponsoring you with boats, sponsoring you with tackle. You know, when we everything you got from head to toe is wrapped, and these people are paying for your expenses. We want it to get to that level, and we're not gonna obtain that when we keep cutting each other down, talking about what you don't like, what he don't like. If you don't like how things are going, then just don't fish the tournament. Don't try to cut somebody else down. What we're trying to do, what me and Steve are trying to do, is grow it in the bigger picture, the bigger scenario. Like there's no other tournament going on right now that's going to have the amount of spectators and fans as this world championship or this expo. There's no way. You got thousands of spectators that are going to be there, man. Every time I go to the CatCon every year, I'm like, man, if we had a tournament going on right now, it would be it. And where else would it be better to crown the world champion than at an expo like that? This is the best place I could ever think of.
Well, the expo is going to actually fuel the world championship, and that's the way it should be. You know, we need fans for the catfishing world, and I know everybody wants to be equal, and everybody, you know, even though you can fish really well and you might be able to beat some of the guys, there's kind of differences between anglers. You know, you got your anglers that love the tournament fish, but they don't travel around the country, and there's a lot of guys that love to fish hardcore tournaments and travel around the country, and those are the guys we're wanting to target, is the guys that want a little bit more competition against some of the toughest competition. And that's what we're going to find is the toughest competition. There are so many guys out there right now that I've seen in George Young Jr. tournament and other tournaments that are really, really good. They can beat you about any time, but that's all they can do. There's no other promotions from them. There's no other, you know, they have 47 friends on their Facebook page and they just share it to them friends. We need some new anglers out there that can, you know, get on stage, talk on a microphone, and kind of get the crowd hyped up. I mean, I don't know, some of these guys know who Gerald Swindle is. He's a bass guy. He wins some stuff. He's okay, but you know, he's hype. He gets up on that stage and entertains. That's if we could find some of them guys, this sport is really going to take over. And you know, like I say, we need more anglers that want to compete on a higher level, and that's pretty much kind of what we're doing.
Absolutely. And we know the first year, obviously, the first year is the only year that it's going to be open to open registration. Anybody can fish it. After that, we're going to put on a Rod Rippon is going to be hosting qualifying events that you must fish. So you have to earn your way into this. The first year, we're going to take the top 30 so day one, there's 100 boats fishing. We got 20 promotional spots, and that's for sponsorships. You have to own a company, something to do with catfishing. You can buy your angler a spot. Outside of that, it's capped at 100 boats for open entry. So the top going into day two, we're going to cut that back. The top 30 is the only one that's going to be fishing on day two, and them top 30 will also be invited to come back and fish the following year.
And you know, in 2027, you'll have to qualify to fish this. And me and Daniel's talked about it. We may still reach out to some of these other tournaments that are, you know, really big, like Georgia's and a few others, and invite some of those guys to fish. You know, they'll use that tournament to qualify as well. So we're still working the kinks out on that. But we're definitely going to be able to qualify through the Rod Rippon Catfish Trail. And Damien's kind of indicated that I don't know if he's let the cat out of the bag or not, but he's kind of indicated he's going to kind of go east and south and maybe a little bit west to kind of find some more, you know, a larger array of anglers out there rather than just having local people do this. You know, he's going to go around.
And the reason what we're trying to do is here that some of these trails that do this on the national level, they've got so many tournaments that for the average person, for the average angler, he cannot afford it because we don't have the professionalism that we should have, where sponsors are paying for your whole trip. So our goal is going to be to have like a $500 buy-in, have 4 qualifying events, like one on the Cumberland, one on the Tennessee, one on the Mississippi, one on the Ohio, and make it spread out where the average Joe can afford to fish it, but he's got to be the best in order to come to the WCC, the World Catfish Championship. And we're wanting to get it there really in the grand scheme of things, this is the best place for it because you're going to have all the different vendors, the people that would potentially later on in life be sponsoring you. They're at that event, so you're going to get your name out there. They're going to see, hey, man, that's who I want to sponsor. Every year, that dude's in the top 5. I need to talk to him. I need him on my pro staff, right? And so we're really generating scouts for you with the spectators, and they'll also get to know how you are. Like, I don't want to sponsor somebody that's always on Facebook, negative Nancy, complaining, whining about everything, man. I want whoever's representing my company, I want them to do it in a professional way, man. So you're going to get a chance to do that, man. Chance to show that you got morals, integrity, that you not only can you catfish, but you can represent the company that I've worked my heart out for in the most professional way ever.
Exactly. Well, and that's another thing too. If we can get, you know, several guys like that into this event, you know, catfishing tournaments, I've been doing it for 25 years and they have not changed a bit. Nothing's really changed about them. Yeah. We're kind of wanting to I think outside the box a little bit. I know a lot of guys don't want to go to the Bassmaster style tournaments, but who wouldn't want to stand up on stage with the fireworks and confetti coming off on you when you win, you know, the grand prize? And that's kind of what we're shooting for, you know, which brings us into some of the money stuff I've seen people talk about. You know, well, he's making so much money off of this. I wish they. I mean, they can do the math. They can really do the math, but they don't know exactly what it takes to run an expo or a tournament. They can only speculate.
Yeah.
You know, just like the stage. We're going to spend 10 grand on the stage, all the lighting, all the fireworks, all the stuff that's going to be happening. There's a $10,000 bill right there, and we're feeding the anglers. You know, we are requiring all anglers to come to the captain's meeting to have a dinner. We you know, the expo is going to sell some VIP passes, and we're going to allow the VIPs to kind of mingle with the stars. I want to say the anglers.
Yeah.
The Thursday night, and we're going to have the expo open specifically for the anglers the night before, so that they can, you know, go in there and buy some stuff or sinkers or whatever they need throughout, and they can still enjoy the fishing and the expos from somewhat. Yeah. So
and that's what I want them to really know that, Steve. Like when you come here for that captain's meeting on a Thursday night, that I know a lot of you anglers love the Catfish Conference, the expos, because there's things that you want. You're going to have an exclusive VIP pass to tour the expo before anybody else does, and that's because you're going to be out on the water fishing while the expo's going to be going on.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about the money, man, and that's some of the things that I really wanted to address tonight, because everybody's doing the math, and they're not their math just ain't mathing. To be honest, they just ain't. They're like, oh, that's $60,000, man. You know, 100% of the entry fees for the 100 boats is going back into the tournament, man. It costs a lot of money to host this. If it didn't, everybody would do this. This is not a coffee can tournament. It's just not. And, you know, we got insurance. We're going to have shirts for the anglers. The trophies is going to be over $6,000 for all of them. Like, we're giving away some stuff that you're going to be proud to have. The fireworks, the smoke, like you said, it's going to be $10,000 and just setting up the stage. We've got the pool with the oxygen. We're going to set up a pool out there. I love how Alex Nagy does it in Twisted Cats. You can see the big fish still swimming around in this tank. And, you know, that's going to be a hit for all the spectators because they want to see them fish up close and personal. And then we're going to have the fish truck in the tank to haul it back. That's another $2,000. Employees for 2 days, that's $7,800. You know, the captain's meeting with the meal. We have to purchase the meal from the convention center per contract. They have to make money. There's some reason, you know, it just don't make no sense if they don't make money. That's totaling $38,030 of the $36,000 that's took. So we're paying over 100% of the entry fee money. So for all them people out there that can't do math or think they can do their own math, do that math. Do that math right there, man. It's just we're not profiting all that money on the entry fees. We're not. And how the promotional spots will work is this. Say we sell out the 100 boats instantly. You know, in the first 5 minutes, we sell out 100 slips, and that's all we're taking. If you are a sponsored angler and you're wanting to fish this, And this is what we're really trying to do. You need to reach out to your sponsors and say, hey, man, the only way that I can get into this tournament is if you sponsor this event, and I'm going to give them an entry fee. I'm going to give them an entry fee with their sponsorships. And we're not, and everybody keeps adding that in 20 promotional spots, like we're going to have 20 people wanting. Well, there's $60,000, and a percentage of that money is going to go to the pot as well. But what we wanted to put out there in black and white, so there was no debating, was the payout. So you knew up front, there's no snake stuff. Everything is out there for you to see in a professional way.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see what we got. We got any good questions over here?
I don't know. I mean, we got some negativity in chat as you expected. But you know, I think, and I don't have much to add because you guys have way more experience doing these things than I do. I'm just here to help facilitate the live. But you know, like you said, we talked a little bit backstage. You know, this tournament isn't for everyone, and if you don't agree with how things are being run, you don't have to enter it. And that's not like a stab at you or anything. It's the fact of the matter. You know, if you don't like Walmart, don't shop at Walmart.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I would. If anybody takes my opinion for a grain of salt, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And it's like, you know, if you don't agree with it, you know, there's plenty of other tournaments for you to fish in. You know, this is supposed to be a positive thing. There was somebody that asked about the registration on the website. It says open September 15th. So that's when registration will open.
Yep, that's when we're aiming for it for sure. Yep.
Hey, and let me piggyback on this. Justin Browning put on there, are you hauling the fish that are caught in the 1/35 waters back to the waters that are going to be released in the 4/40? That's a really good point, Justin. I love that. And listen, this tournament being out at Owensboro, I understand that there is not. Like, this pool here, I hate it because it's my home water, man. I hate that they allow the commercial fishermen to take 4/40 on the shortest pool on the Ohio River. I hate that. And that's something that we need to take in consideration when we talk about hauling them fish back. So, man, I am super glad that you asked that question. And that's something that I would never even thought of. So thanks for that, man. Thanks for at least asking that and bringing that to my attention. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, I'm going to give some good thought into that. Figuring out which pool they fished in. You know, if it's the bigger fish, we're definitely going to consider putting them back in the waters that they come from.
Yeah. Well, another good thing about having this in Kentucky, I know everybody, you know, was on the bandwagon a few years ago about the Catfish Conference and you know, it's the worst. Kentucky's the worst thing for conservation, but we've come a long way in conservation. And the only thing that this event can do better is put this in the light of people who might be able to help change some regulations. We're keeping the light here in Kentucky, keeping the pressure on them, and I think that's what it's going to take. There's going to be some big people be able to see this. You know, I'd love to have this on the Tennessee River, but I feel like with the time of year we're going to have it, there's going to be some big fish caught. There's going to be some good fish coming to the scales. I hate that we have to take them right, you know, but that again, we have to think about next year. We can't change anything this year because we've already got things in line. And I don't want to go back. I'm not that guy that tells you one thing and does another to suit somebody else. We're going to stick with our rules this year. We may be able to talk to some anglers for the 2027 season on this, but I don't even know if this is going to be in Owensboro in 2027. We may move it to another facility or another state next year. You know, the World Championship's about, you know, being the best. If it's in the same water all the time, it you know, we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see what's happening. It's all new to us. This is new out of the box. You know, I ain't saying nobody hasn't ever tried anything like this, but it's made a little uproar in the community. I understand that with the kids and the things, but we need to keep this on the forefront of the community so that, you know, Kentucky, you know, some of the officials in Kentucky can kind of see that, you know, our anglers are serious about Kentucky waters and conservation. You know, we've got already booked Jay Harrello with the Kentucky Wildlife Association or whatever department coming in to set booths up. We've always had it at CatCon, and I just want to let everybody know that this is not CatCon. This is not a replacement CatCon. This is just a dream of mine that I've had for 10 years. In 2012, I tried kind of the same thing. I had a tournament info page called American Pro Catters. And we did all right the first year, and I was in business with that for 2 or 3 years, but the problem came arise that people didn't like the word pro in it. And that irks me so much. I don't know how to professional angler from a regular angler, but the word pro kills a lot of people, and we've kind of got to get over that. I don't know how we can get over it, but we need to kind of try to figure that out. But people, and just like the ACA, Glenn had a good idea, and me personally, I don't think it was a money grab. I think he was really genuinely trying to do some stuff, but everybody rode him so hard. You don't see nothing out of Glenn anymore. He don't need it. He's probably got money to do, but it was a passion of his. He wanted to help, and the anglers is what screwed it up.
I agree with him, and we need to talk more about that. Like, listen, this is going to be a professional level tournament and event, expo at that. And if we see the trash talk on Facebook and the keyboard commandos and all that, man, listen, you will be placed on a list and you will not fish this event. You will not. We're not going to put up with that, man. We can't. We're going to do something positive. We're going to make this a big deal, because when we talk to the city commissioners, the state commissioners, and we go to them, we're going to go to them in a professional way and having good, honest people backing us. We're going to represent catfishing to its finest. And I can guarantee you that, because I'm not going to put up with this stuff, man. I've got a list already of people that's not going to be fishing this event. and that's a fact. They're just not, man. You cannot tolerate that stuff. It's unprofessional. You're allowed an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But when you start blasting off at the mouth at stuff that is not real facts, it's just not. Hey, it don't make no sense, man. And we are our own worst enemy. Yeah. We are. I mean, be grateful that you're going to have an event to come fish like this. And we're hoping later on down the road that we don't have to take as much out of the entry fees to put towards the cost of what it costs to run the tournament. And we'll pick up them big sponsorships where we can just dump it all back into the anglers, man. Everybody that knows me knows that I've been running Rod Ribbon Catfish Trail for 5 years, and I've sunk my own personal hard-earned money into it, into creating what it is. And I'm not doing it for the money. Me and Steve are doing it because we're passionate about catfishing. We want to see this grow to another level. We want to see it, but we also need to be compensated. Man, I watched Steve spend 40 to 60 hours last week on the website alone. And he's just supposed to do that, and people are just supposed to be, you're supposed to do that. No, he's not supposed to do that. He's got a business to run. So whatever time he spends on this, he's neglecting on something else. And he should. We should be compensated for that, man. We should be, but we're being honest. We're being open. We're open book. Ask us the question. We're going to answer it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, please don't fish it. Please don't. I don't have time for it, man. It's crazy.
Well, like I say, this tournament ain't going to be for everyone. I mean, there's like I say, there's different levels of tournament guys, and there is a big amount of tournament guys out there that are willing to work for something better, and that's kind of what we got planned. Is we're working to, if you make it more professional, then Minn Kota, Lowrance, Garmin, those guys are going to start looking at us. Right now, we don't have anybody but people like me, monster rod holders. Tangle with Catfish, Catch the Fever, they're all entrepreneurs and small businesses, but the ones that can sink $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I've never, as monster rod holders, people that may think I got money, but I don't have the money to be giving these anglers to be out there fishing. And on top of that, there's really not a lot of anglers out there that can do what a huge business needs them to do as far as promotions. We've kind of got to work up to that. Like I say, we've got to find some key anglers to kind of help promote the sport, to kind of grow it in that direction.
Yeah. And we will. We're going to grow it into that level, and we're going to have a positive, healthy event, man. We're going to kick out all the nonsense, man, and we're going to push towards something great. It needs to be done. It's past due on getting it done. Steve, can you touch on the subject of the kids not being allowed?
Well, every tournament out there right now allows kids. So there is plenty of stuff out there to do for the kids. There's nothing out there for the hardcore angler that really wants to excel. And, we've got some legal ramifications, I guess, for having kids out there. You know, if these big sponsors are going to promote anglers, you know, they want anglers that can sign contracts. They want anglers that can, you know, have financial situations and you know, it's just not for the kids. This is not built for the kids. Although, you know, in the expo, I've got more for the kids to do in this expo than I ever have with the bouncy house at CatCon. You know, I've got something for all age groups. I've got, you know, 3 to 5. I've come up with some really cool coloring pages, you know, with families on it, things like that. Or I've got, you know, a step up from 11 to 12, you know, that decorating tackle boxes. And then the older kids, you know, they're going to have, you know, knot tying stations. They're going to learn that type of stuff. I got scavenger hunts. And even for the older kids, 12 to 16, 17, we're going to have some fishing skills classes for them, you know, how to read depth finders, things like that they can do. I'm not saying that we don't want the kids. The kids are the future of this, but it's just not this particular tournament. We're not trying to have, you know, this is a family oriented expo, but the tournament has to be at a level where a guy wants to reach for that. Like world championship. I mean, like I say, I've never seen anybody more happier to have a belt, even though the belt cost me $700 that Damien won. He's told me many times that's his favorite thing because of the title. And if these kids don't have something to reach for, you know, just everybody a trophy, that's kind of it. And I'm not trying to, like I say, make anybody mad. We love the kids. We got lots of stuff for kids to do. And in the future, we may be able to do more. You know, I would love to have, and this is a kind of a double-edged sword. I'm probably get some hate over this, but I'd love to have some of the 16, 17-year-old kids that I can put in a good tournament jersey to help some of the younger kids learn how to tie knots. You know, that be the 17, 18-year-olds could be kind of mentors for the 15, 16, 14-year-olds, you know, kind of show them some stuff. So
yeah, they can volunteer right there on the website at the bottom.
And they still get known. They're still involved. And they have, again, something to look for that they can reach for. Like, man, I'm going to be world champion one day. Just like I said it
Right.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing is giving my son something to say, man, Dad, when I get that age, man, I can't wait to be able to do that. You know,
Yeah.
it is. It's giving them right now. They're included on everything, and I'm grateful. I love seeing that in our trail at home here, man. We always support the youth anglers. On this one here, man, we're just gonna try to hone it in on just having the best of the best there. Because right now there's a whole lot of riffraff about, hey, who's the top 5 in the nation? Well, in 3 years, we're gonna know who the top 5 is. We're gonna know. We will know who the top 5 is. It's gonna be a guaranteed thing. We're gonna know who they are.
Yeah. Well, like I say, we appreciate the kids. It's all about the kids, but this particular tournament, you know, is really to determine who's the best. This first year, again, we just have to take the first 100 boats because we got to start somewhere. And then I thought about inviting certain people, but then that would make us another stink. So it's the first 100 boats that pay. But from here on out into 2027, you're going to have to qualify to do that. You know, there's a lot of guys out there got a lot of money and got a good boat and can afford to take off work and go do this. And there's a lot of guys that can't. But I'm looking for the guys that are really wanting to travel around the country on a competitive level and compete against like-minded anglers.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I love it. I love what we stand for, and I love that this is the thing, that no matter what whining and crying gets done, it doesn't change what we've done set out there. You know, we're going to go with what we said we're going to do, and that just shows that you got morals and integrity, man. You just got to do what you say you're going to do and go for it, man. And I think at the end of the day, once this event's over with, we're going to look back and say, man, I'm glad we did it. And other people are going to be excited about it, and next year it'll be just as big or bigger, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good point. If it gets big enough later on down the line, you could run junior tournaments. You know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, like I say, we're going to start with this tournament. Like I say, we're not trying to alienate anybody, but I do need, you know, over the years, I've seen tournaments. They haven't changed in 20, 25 years. You come, you pay your money, and that's it. But and I hate to say this, I wish there was a better word than this, but there does need to be some separation between the guy that is just a hardcore angler, likes to fish tournaments, but don't want to travel around the world or around the country, and the anglers that do want to travel around the country. I'd like to reward those guys that are working hard for a title and money. We got Ray Ferguson in here.
Hello,
Hey,
hello,
Ray.
hello. How y'all doing?
Ray Ferguson, for you guys.
I'm driving down the road.
All right. Ray Ferguson, for the guys that don't know, he's actually another one of the winners of the World Championship. What year did you win that, Ray?
I think it was 13.
13.
Yeah.
Tell us what the World Championship means to you. As far as, like I say, me and you kind of started about the same time doing the same stuff. Tell everybody what the World Championship means to you.
Do you remember when Tennessee changed the law with the 34-inch rule? Do you remember what year that was?
About 2006, maybe.
So that's how many years I've been fishing it, and it's one of the tournaments, because the first tournament I'd fished there, the fellow that was running it said we wasn't going by no 34-inch rule, that we was going to bring the biggest 5 fish in, and that was it. And me and Snuffy, you remember Snuffy, don't you?
Yeah.
Me and it was before Ken got a hold of it, but me and Snuffy, we fished it, and we finished second place. And I didn't, Snuffy just invited me down. That was his home area, and I was there, and we got second place, and they announced the first place people. We got plaques and stuff, and they announced the first place people, and they pulled out those world champion belts. And since that day, it was it. I had to have a belt. I mean, I was just amazed. I was like, I'd never seen anything quite like that. I was like, this is incredible. And then I learned the history of it, about being the oldest tournament. It was that tournament went on before Bass. And I don't know if y'all have talked about that. Have y'all talked to anybody about how long this tournament's been going on?
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of gave him the background of Ken Freeman and all that. I didn't know about it until Ken Freeman. So
okay,
that was probably around 2004 or something like that.
So this tournament is actually on, I think it was 2020. You have to look back on the episodes and they talk about it, because it was 4 catfishermen, and that started it. They was commercial fishermen, and they fished for a whole month. That's where the Derby had come into it,
right.
And then the World Championship was at the end.
Right.
But it's been around many years, but it was always in Pickwick, and they don't want it there anymore.
Yeah, I reached out to them. They weren't interested in having it, but the size of the event that we're going to produce here is Savannah couldn't have held it. I mean, it is a cool town.
Yeah.
It's a river town, but like they just don't have the venue for this.
No, this is going to be pretty neat. What you got going on, I feel like you're going to be hopefully all the anglers get their act together and show up and fish, because I'm going to be there. Fountain's going to be there. And we're all going to be pushing for a belt.
Well,
not a belt. I'm sorry. It's going to be a ring.
Yeah, it's going to be a Super Bowl type ring. And, we're not buying the cheap stuff from the guy that makes the class rings. My goal is to spend $1,300 to $1,500 per ring. And that brings me up to another thing too. The amount of people that's able to fish this. That's another reason why, I've got one of my best pro staff guys, Nooner Hall, and his dad and brother fish it, and I wasn't even thinking about it.
I think Steve froze up there.
Yeah. I was wondering what happened. But anyway, what was he saying about Nooner and them fishing?
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure where he was going. Damien, do you know where he was going with that?
What? Yeah, he was talking about how that brings us to another point why we only have 2 men per boat. So we've got 2 guys per boat because we only do 2 rings, and that that makes us not have to buy the third ring. But it sucks because like Nooner Hall, Les Thompson, and them, that's a 3-man team. They've always fished together. It's their team. And just like Delmer Wagler, Justin Arthur, Kevin Childers, it's a 3-man team. And I've had the same run-in with them, and they're like, man, I wish that we could have 3. But listen, in the grand scheme of things, one day I would hope that we could just do it one angler to a boat. But right now, it's just not feasible. You catch an 80-pound catfish, man. It's nice having somebody in the boat to net that sucker.
When you say that, Damien, it went to individual. So the way they done it, they had 2 people in the boat, and they put an individual. Each person was their own. Like you had the police in the boat. Your partner was the police, and you caught your fish, and they caught their fish. And Stuffy in his boat, he had got first and second place out of his boat. So they were literally fishing against each other in the boat.
I see how that works. But here we're just going to do the 2-man team, and I know there's been things that people have been upset about, especially, and the biggest thing was the payout. We're paying out $116,000. We're generating $150,000, but there's things that we have to have, and that I honestly just can't afford. I wouldn't. There's not my budget here is at $37,030 is what we're going to be out, and I have to take it out of the entry fee in order to make this thing what it needs to be. It's the first year we haven't developed a relationship with our sponsors yet, and we have to pay for that stuff, which I wanted to make sure the payouts were still desirable. And they are. $50,000 for first place, man, that's good money. And then, we had a lot of people that didn't understand how the promotional spots work. And the promotional spots will work that say we sell out in 100 teams in the first 5 minutes. If Anvil Rods decides that they need Ray Ferguson in there, Anvil Rods can reach out to me, which makes them be a part of the World Championship, and they can get your spot, your promotional spot, right? And that puts the lead on there.
Well, it's sad that you got to do that. It's sad that all the people don't jump behind this. We need more sponsors. We need bigger payouts. We was fooling around the other day, me and Donnie, and we had talked about, Donnie and them had like $150,000 a year, and then the next year they had like 170.
Yeah.
170,000 winning deal. And I was like, I said, that sounds great. A lot of people think, well, that's a lot of money. So estimated, and this is lowballing it, since we started tournament fishing, he has put in $1.5 million. And that's 6 boats, 6 brand new boats, and entry fees and gas.
Hey, Ray, you don't have to tell me nothing. I've traveled all over this country. I know. And people ask me like not last year, but the year before, we won. What did we win? Close to $60,000. We won close to $60,000. And they said, I said, I didn't turn a profit. I probably spent $100,000 to win that $60,000. I mean, you don't break even.
You don't win it. You don't get it. No, you don't get it.
But the best thing that we can do as anglers is help support us, man, to grow this into what it needs to be, and get rid of the flack, man. A lot of the people that are crying and complaining, and the best thing that we can do for that is just not entertain it, man. Just don't entertain it, man. We're an open book. And listen, people have to make money. This is just not for us, for me and Steve. This is for the vendors. This gives the vendors an opportunity to make a big portion of their revenue for the year, man. You know what I mean? A lot of money gets exchanged at these expos.
I just want to say, Steve's internet went out. So I sent him the link to his phone, so hopefully he can pop back in.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, Ray, and we're excited about it. And it is right. It's sad that we have to go in here, but we're not on here to defend ourselves. We're in here to say, hey, this is where this is at. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And if you don't like it, it's not for everyone. Please don't fish it. Please don't, because we don't want that there. We want professionalism there. We do.
Damon, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, okay?
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't need all those people showing up so I can win this first ring easy.
That's right, Daddy. Huh?
Let them sit back. I always have that number 1 ring. That means something.
Oh, it does. Remember when I was the last one to win that world championship, man. And dude, I remember my son seeing that belt and he was like, Dad, I want that. I didn't stand a chance in heck. Man, I went down there in Savannah, had never seen the water before, put my boat in, went out there by 11 o'clock. I had it won. And I weighed my fish in and I went up there to Dairy Queen and got me something to eat. I was eating while everybody else was out there fishing. I had it won. And you just don't realize what you win. That title that goes along with, hey, man, you're the world championship. That's what it's about, man. It's a title. It's giving us anglers something to reach for, something to attain. And I did not want to be the last world champion. I didn't want to be that. I want other people to feel what I felt when I received that belt. Just like you did, Ray, when you got it.
That's it. When I got my first one, I was debating what to do, where I was going down the river or staying on the lake. Yeah. And I hadn't been on fish and I'd been there for like 4 days, no fish. And I just said, the heck with it. I'm going to do what I think is going to work, and that's it. And if I work, it worked. I was done. It's 150 degrees in Savannah, if you don't know that. So it was 150 degrees, it felt like, and I had to win and wait by 11 o'clock. And I went weighed in. I went weighed in, took a shower, took a nap, woke up, and I was there because it was 70 something boats. You know, it was a lot of boats at the time when Ken had it. And they were all weighing in, and I got up there and they were like, well, Ray, such and such this beach. And I was like, oh man. And I had no way of knowing, you know, so I'm just thinking I got like second or third maybe. So we fooled around, and about that time, stuff had come popping around the corner because he wasn't able to fish with me. It was his first year not fishing with me, and because he had lost his leg, and it was really bad. And he come around the corner and said, "Hey, boy, I heard you won it." And I was like, it just blowed me away, just because me and him had fished so much together, and he wasn't able to fish, and I knew how important it was to him. But for him to be there when I got it, man, it brought tears to my eyes, just like you. Yeah, when I come around the corner and you won it, you was like, I can't believe this. Oh man. I don't do a good impersonation of you, but that's what you act like. You was on it.
As big as mine, though. You did a pretty good job.
I
want to touch on this before we go any further, but especially some of the best anglers that paved the way for us started at that event. It started at that event right there, man.
No. Whoa. Phil King. Everyone knows Phil King. Yeah. That's how he got it started. Phil got started by that world championship because it was so prestigious.
Yeah.
It's people don't understand the weight. Bill Dance, when he was in his Larry Muse, Patterson, everybody that you ever read an article about, and I know these guys don't understand it, but they wrote books. You know, now everything's on the internet and YouTube. Yeah. But they had actually wrote articles in fishermen and stuff, and you were fishing against these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, you don't get any better when you show up and you got people writing articles and they're there, and even Steve, he'll tell you it gets starstruck.
Yeah, you do.
But anybody fished that tournament.
Yeah.
Even when it's down days, when it got to 30 boats, that was the 30 best in the country fished that tournament.
Yeah.
So all I can tell you, when you come to the Ohio River, you better have your game together for that tournament.
Do you guys want to talk about like fish limits and the format of the tournament?
The what?
Sorry. You want to talk about the format of the tournament, like fish limits and regulations?
Yeah. So the rule, I mean, Steve did a really good job of uploading all that on the website. If you have not checked the website out, it's a must. You have to check it out. Everything's in black and white. Any questions that you may have will be on there. But like we said on the first day, we're going to do the registration on that Thursday. I don't have that paper at my disposal right now. It's uploaded on this computer, but we're going to do a 3 fish limit.
I can share the website, would you?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, here you go.
And I want to talk about the boat ramps that we've. I know that when you type in that southern boat ramp, it's going to say permanently closed. It is not closed. That thing's been saying that for 3 years, man. It's not. It's accessible. It's a nice ramp. It's a big ramp, so it will accommodate plenty of boats. And we know that if you've ever fished the Ohio River, you know this, that the fish in May congregate up towards the dam. The upper river is always better. Not necessarily all the way at the dam, but it's better upriver. So with us having them boat ramps spread out like that, it is feasible to fish 5 different dams. It'll be the Louisville Dam, McAlpine, that'll be Cannleton, Newburgh, J.T. Myers, and Smithland. And we did that because we want to separate everybody. We want to even play field. And that's another thing, like Ray said, you better be ready when you come to the Ohio River. Man, the Ohio River will humble you. I know it's my home river. I love it. I got a love-hate relationship with it. Some days you can go out there look like a superstars, and some days out there you're praying for 5 channel cats. That's just how it is, man. It can be tough.
That's exactly right. Hey, to what people don't understand is for people like us, that travel, the Ohio River and the Mississippi River seems to be really, really tough to fish. And that in that time of the year, you could have a lot of flow or you could have no flow. So it's always going to be different from year to year.
Yeah.
It's really just because one year you're on them doesn't mean you're going to be on them next year.
Oh, absolutely. And this is Eric Blair had that comment in the morning. Is there a boat check? And I'm glad that he brought that up. Listen, we're not doing no boat checks in the morning, and I'll tell you why. Because another guy, Justin Browning, commented earlier on. I want to answer on the first half of his question was there going to be a lie detectors test? Absolutely, and that's something that I left out in my budget too. That's where people don't understand how much money goes into an event like this. There were some comments on there. Well, Damien's boat out there, boat payment out there. And I'm thinking, man, you have lost your mind. If you think that we're profiting that much money, man, if you really think that we are, you have lost your mind.
I don't understand, nope. I own my own business and people look at me sometimes, you get a check that's $100,000. They don't realize 95 of that's spent already.
Yeah, they don't get it.
It doesn't matter. It's just people know when you're in business for yourself, money comes and goes, and I wouldn't want to be in your shoes to try to promote. But I'm glad you're doing it because you are. Steve ain't there, so I'm not worried about. There's 2 people off my list of worrying.
Yeah.
I'm here again, guys. I don't know if you hear me or not, but I'm back. My internet went down.
Yeah.
Another thing too, it just seems like in the catfish industry, it's become voodoo or bad to make any money off of anything. I'm sure the BASS tournaments, I'm sure somebody's making money off of that.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't understand, and maybe you guys can explain to me, why is it such taboo for catfish people to work really hard and make a little bit of money, even if you may not make anything this year, but maybe as things get down the road and you get that the banners and all the relationships built like you're talking about, you might make something.
Yeah,
why is that a bad thing? You worked hard to do
make money. Yeah, absolutely, man. It doesn't make sense to put up with all the nonsense that we put up with if we're not making something. That's how the world goes around. Like, this takes time and dedication, promotion. This takes time away from your family. Like, man, I watched Steve last week literally spend 40 to 60 hours in front of his computer getting this website together. If he's not, if you think that he shouldn't make no money for that, then you've lost your mind. You lost your mind. You wouldn't do it, and you shouldn't expect somebody else to do that. Listen, if they don't like how things are running with us, please don't fish it. And that's all we're asking. We're asking that you not do that, not sow into nothing negative on our feed, on our Facebook page, man. We want good anglers with good etiquette and as professional as they can be, man. We've laid it all out in black and white. You know what it is before you show up. If you don't like them things, please don't come.
That's right. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is a question. How will flooded waters impact the tournament if it happens?
That's another thing we're definitely going to have to take into consideration. But I believe that every boat ramp that we have in our district right now. The ones that we have some high water boat ramps. But obviously, if it's flooded and it's blew completely out, that'll be something me and Steve discuss.
But if it's not blown out, that's going to be one of the best times of year to catch big fish.
Absolutely, man. It's an epic time I can guarantee you this. If it's not blown out, every boat will have a bag. I mean, the fish will be on fire.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, we've been fishing a long time. How many tournaments we ever seen canceled in our years?
No, none that I know of. Maybe one. But I had to think about hard on it.
Yeah. Ken Freeman would send you out during a tornado.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh, the tornado's warning. You can trailer around them."
Yeah. You know, high water, you can still fish high water. You just got to watch out for the logs, things like that. But it's no different than the Mississippi River. The Ohio River is kind of like a lake right now. I went down there the other night and fished it, and there's no current whatsoever. But you know, if it does get up, you know, there's places you can still fish. You know, we're not going to make you go out there when it's not safe. You know, if it's tornadoes and stuff coming, you know, of course nobody wants to be there. But we'll still be able to put you in the water and be able to fish. But you know, the main thing, I just want to, you know, we've kind of made some rules and decisions, and we just got to let people know that we can't, you know, we're going to stick with them this year. We might be able to change them again before we come up with 2027, but the rules are in place for a reason right now, and we're going to stick with it. And like Damien said, if guys don't want to fish it, if they want to argue about it, you know, they don't have to fish it. There are so many great tournaments out there. Alex Nagy's got one. George Young Jr. probably got one of the best tournaments out there right now with the light show, and that's kind of what we're gearing up towards. But there's plenty of tournaments out there, and you can call them whatever you want to call them. But when you allow everybody to fish, no matter if it's, you know, the guy in a John boat or the guy in a $100,000 boat, you know, there's really no definite separation. I hate that word. I hate that separation because I don't want to segregate anybody. But there is that crowd that wants more, and that's kind of what we're aiming for. We want them to reach for something high. I mean, when I was young and I looked up to the Bassmaster Classic, I always wanted to fish that. I used to fish the federations. I got real close to some of that sometime. Unfortunately, I didn't make it, but that's when catfishing come into my life, and I was able to make a little living out of the catfishing world. So,
Steve, this is what I don't want to cut you off, but this is what I think. You know, I feel like there's a lot of people out there crying because they don't want to qualify. And that's me calling them out. I don't think they want to qualify, and I think they're afraid that they may not make it. That's because you got a lot of people. There's 100 boats out there that easily qualify. And, you know, this isn't about the money. It ain't say, hey, you pay $1,000 entry fee, you're in. No, you got to qualify to get in.
Right.
And that's a major deal.
You got to work for it.
That's a lot. You know, you got like poor Alex. I would love to see Alex fish it, but and Alex is a good angler. But it'd be hard for him to qualify because he don't have any tournaments outside of his own stuff that he can fish. And I don't think that's right. I think I wish Alex could fish, just like I wish you could fish. But it's too much behind the scenes. You know, that the tournament would never go off. If Damien didn't take the sacrifice and you take the sacrifice to say, hey, look, we're going to do this, and the two main people aren't fishing it.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
I'd love to be world champion.
Man, dude, I'm an avid tournament angler. If there's a big tournament, man, I'm there. I've always have been for the last 8 years, man. I have beat my feet and tore up many trucks and tore up many boats to become what I am today. And listen, I'm sacrificing to make sure that we can decipher who really is the best in the nation. And the people that are winning the crown, they're not going to qualify, right? Because I'm not going to allow them to. They're not fishing. Hang it up. I got a list already made, buddy. For the
I think an important thing to do, sorry to cut you off, I think an important thing to do moving forward from here is to focus on the positive.
Absolutely.
Instead of letting because there's always going to be negative people. Somebody said you'll never satisfy everyone. And I know there may be some bigger names in the tournament world that have negative comments or whatever, but I think we should focus on the people that are excited about it. I mean, I'm excited about it, and I'm not even a tournament angler. Like I want to see big fish. I want to see them swimming in the pond. I want to see little kids' face light up when Ray Ferguson holds up that giant fish, you know, or whoever. You know, I think we should focus on that moving forward.
This is what's so amazing. This is what's so amazing. These people don't understand. And Damon, tell me if I'm wrong. When you're standing there next year and you hand them rings out, you're going to be just as happy. And I know I will be. Whoever wears that ring, I'm going to be freaking stoked for them because it to me, it means the world.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's just it. That's what it means for me. We have nothing to shoot for. Yeah, you could go and fish all over the country and win a boat with Cabela's. You can go fish all over the country with Alex and get invited to a classic. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're not a world champion. At the end of the day, you're not a world champion.
Yeah, we're not trying to best the tournaments out there either. I mean, like I say, all the tournaments are out there, have their purpose. They're great tournaments, and we're not trying to say, hey, we're going to do something better. We're just trying to give the anglers that are dedicated, want to work hard, something else to reach for. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
That's what I've always wanted. I've always, you know, like I say, we was talking a while ago, I'd love to fish this thing, but I can't fish it because we're running it, and it wouldn't be fair to do that, I don't think. So, but I've always wanted that title. The title means more to me than the money.
Absolutely, without doubt. That's the thing is the title, and we will ensue that you earn it. It's not going to be something given to you. You're going to have to earn this, man. This is you're going to have to put your time in to earn it.
Yeah.
But I do like what another guy said on there earlier when we was talking about the water conditions with the high water. The best will adapt. They will adapt. That, you know, the best in the nation will adapt and learn how to tackle that higher water if it is higher at that time of year. And that puts another stumper in the game for people, you know, the people that know how to fish any conditions. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the anglers that can adapt and overcome. That ain't that fair weather fishermen, the ones that say, hey, man, it's that, like, you know, one of the things Ricky Eastcliff always says is that everybody's got to fish the same conditions. You know, when you start complaining about the conditions, hey, everybody's got the same conditions. They're out there fishing the same conditions you are.
Are you
exactly?
You're not making people qualify this year, correct?
No, sir. It's going to be an open registration for the first 100 boats, and then if that sells out, the promotional spots come into effect.
Do you understand this question? Is there a no information rule in place that needs to be in place?
Yes. So we did. If you look into them rules, it says no talking, right, Crystal? No talking, no sharing information. Yes, sir. It does say that.
Yeah, and all those, I've been sharing the link to the website and the rules, the whole screen. So if you can either click on the link or you go to nationalcatfishexpo.com.
Yeah. No, we're excited about it, man. Ray, thank you for your support.
You
man.
know, I'm excited.
You've always been.
You know, I'm excited.
I'm telling you this, man. You always bring an energy, a good energy to everything, man.
Yeah.
You're loud, obnoxious, and you're selfless, man. Even though you make all that big money, you sure don't mind giving it away.
I know it. Hey, I'm glad not to have to give any to you this year. I promise you.
Hey, listen, I loved it when we went down there to Louisiana. You bought everybody the crawfish bowl and the shrimp bowl, and I was just thinking, man, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, we like to have fun. And that's, you know, Donnie and Lonnie, they helped me. They would have been on here with me, but they have they're working on their boat trying to get it ready. They got a big stretch coming where they don't go home for about a month. So
don't they got
they got
a new boat? Did they get a new one?
Yeah, they got a new boat. We wiped it out.
Yeah, I knew he
Day
did.
one of Monsters on the Monster, not Monsters, but Vicksburg. We were running about 40, 45 and hit a 40-foot tree.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the devastation. I took my boat down to Dry Creek, and I put my boat next to theirs, and I was thinking, man, that thing looks totaled out.
You know what's funny?
Jackson. So Jackson, the qualifying is for 2027. Open registration for 2026. Go ahead, fire away, Ray.
Tell Jackson he ain't got a chance.
No,
He ain't got a chance. Him and Mike, I don't know who. Now, fish, they ain't got a chance. They don't ever do any good on there. So that's one. You don't have to worry about them. You get any side bets, bet with Mike and Jackson. They're good for it. But
they'll pay up, won't they?
I was going to tell you about a little Suzuki. So that Suzuki, we knocked the vent plugs out of it at the bottom. It wouldn't tilt, trim. All we could do was raise the jack plate, and we run that thing for 4 hours up the river and down the river for 2 days.
With no reverse.
Because we hit the tree at 4 o'clock in the morning.
With
No reverse. Didn't have no reverse. Nope. We run that boat and run it. But it's a well-built boat, and Suzuki, it held up.
It did. They're tough and they're dedicated. I love them. They are.
Yep.
They're dedicated.
Oh, it was $100,000, baby. I said we're gonna run this baby till the wheels fall off of it.
That's right. Steve, do you got anything you feel like we missed or anything?
No, I missed a lot because my damn internet went out and I had to do. I ain't never done it to my phone before, but I wish people would just kind of like chill. Let us show you what we want to do. We're not out here. It's not a money grab. Nobody's trying to do that. Me and Damien both have a passion, and that's what drives me. I know it drives him as well, but that's what's drove me to the CatCon for 10 years. That's the most successful catfishing event in the nation, the largest event, and it's always been from passion, not a money standpoint. As far as the conservation, I don't know if y'all went over this or not, but some of the money we have to spend is for a truck hauling or a fish hauling truck to take the fish back down to the water. And we're going to send somebody down there to make sure nothing's on the up and up. We're not trying to catch fish for pay lakes, no means whatsoever. But that's one of the expenses that we have. And that always irks me when I go to a tournament and you weigh your fish. They want to take the tournament anglers, put the fish back in their boat. Now the tournament anglers have got to go down there and take the fish back to the river. Well, that's a long way down there, and I don't want the anglers to be away from the event any longer they have to. So we're going to, once you hand them the fish, they're ours. We're going to take them and put them in that truck and take them down to the river and turn them loose. Another rule.
Let me speak on that. That all fish must be alive and healthy. Now, listen, if your fish is struggling, put him back in the water, and I'm dead serious. Like, don't come in here. Because listen, if anybody knows me, I'm a man of my word. I tell you, I'm a DQ you. I will DQ you. I've DQ'd my own brother. I've DQ'd my own fishing partner for the same reason. The fish was struggling, and they must be released alive and healthy. And healthy. And it is in the rules, healthy. So if you got a fish that's rolling up and cannot swim off, man, don't bring him because you will get DQ'd. And I'll do it in a professional way, but I'm not gonna make a scene. I'm not gonna, we'll do it in a professional way, but just know that I will DQ you. I will.
Yeah, and we're gonna touch. I want to touch on fish care too. That's a big problem. We're no different to pay lakes if we don't take care of these fish. I've seen, I don't want to say tournaments or anything, but I've seen a lot of tournaments where the guy pulls up to weigh in and fish have done regurgitated everything they've ate for the last 2 days, and it's like a sewer in there. You pull the live well up and it just stinks. Catfish can't survive in that. And some of these older tournaments have been around. The fruit jars when I first started. The guy says if the gills are moving, it's alive. That's not a live, healthy fish. And I don't want to hear anybody talk about, well, the gills are moving. That's not we're going to disqualify you. Don't bring that kind of fish to the scales.
I can say one thing. I know we don't want to bring up other tournament people, but Alex Nagy had a podcast 1 or 2 days ago. I suggest a lot of people who's watching, if you hadn't seen that, they talk about oxygen. They talk about there's a meter that goes into your live well, and they tell you everything that you need to use. And Alex said that on the live that he was going to set a link to where you could go get this oxygen, but everyone needs to use oxygen. And Brian, that with Cat Masters and Demon Dragons, he has done so much research on it. He was on there explaining to everybody things to do. So it's a heck of a podcast. I learned a couple of things off of it, like pool skimmers. They take a pool skimmer and clean the live well out. When one throws up, you can go in there and dip all the stuff out of it. It's simple things like that. Everyone that watches that will pick something up from it, and it'll help them, take care of the fish. Because I agree with you, it's hard to take care of them.
Yeah, and there's
I fished for many years. I've never had a problem with taking care of fish. If you put fresh water on them all the time, consistent flow, them fish are not going to go anywhere. Even when it's hot, you keep consistent flow in there and an aerator, but you cannot just fill it up and recirculate. You got to, if they start puking, that stuff's got to leave.
Yeah, because they
Steve, you've been fishing with Mike Mitchell. You've been fishing with Mike Mitchell. You hadn't been catching a lot of fish. So I could understand.
Yeah, I wish he was on here.
I know it. I know he's watching, and I'm wearing him out. So
yeah, but we are concerned about the fish. We're not in it to kill the fish, but it's up to the responsibility of the anglers fishing to also care about the fish and how they're doing it. And like I say, if they're not alive and healthy, moving around, trying to flip out of your hands, they can't be discolored. They can't just be, hey, the gills are moving kind of thing. That's in the rules. I've seen it so much. There's a lot of anglers out there that care, but there's also a lot of anglers out there that fish tournaments that will say, well, his gills are still moving. I want my money. That's not the angler we're looking for. We're looking for a more professional level angler that cares about all aspects of the tournament scene, not just the money.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good time of the year to make sure that our fish stay healthy. Without heat, like you shouldn't have you should not run into no issues with the fish as long as you're doing what Steve said. See, there's a science behind your live wells, and I learned this from a guy that does that works in water treatment. That water, the reason that don't work when you fill up your live well and hit the recirc pump is because they're constantly urinating and pooping in that water, and that's keep running through their gills. That's why you got to constantly circulate the water at all times and get that nasty water out of there. They release pneumonia, and the only way to release that pneumonia is to break the surface tension, and it lets it out. And I didn't know none of that stuff, and I wasn't educated, but I had sat down with some guys that knew about water treatment, and they explained all that. And I think that that's a big thing. That's a big thing, man. Know how to run your live well.
Exactly. Well, we're into healthy fish. We're not into the killing fish, but we do want to enjoy the sport. The resource is there for us to enjoy, but we've got to take care of that resource. And if we can't take care of the resource, I'm not going to have the tournament. So that's kind of where we're at on that one. I don't, if anybody's got any more questions, I can't see them from this daggone phone, but somebody have to tell me. But we'd be glad, and we're going to kind of go live several times a month maybe and talk about certain things, maybe live wells. I mean, I know there's a lot of new guys getting into the sport, and that they could possibly have some tips given to them, to help keep catfish alive or anything. We're going to be talking a lot of sponsors that come on board with the expo. We're going to be talking a lot of vendors that come on board with the expo, and I'm going to bring a lot of the guys that are serious anglers that travel the country that want something more. We're going to have them on there as well, such as Ray, like Ray Ferguson there. So, there's a bunch of guys like that out there that we need to kind of prop up and help support them as well, so that they support us.
Yeah.
When it gets out there, people don't understand what the World Championship is and what it means. And, you got, and I'll do more research. But this tournament's been going on a long time, and the history that's in it. When the fella died, I was like, man, there goes the World Championship. It was a sad day.
I remember you called me. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. You said you ought to buy it. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. And then JR took it over, and I seen it kind of sliding. So I helped JR there, and then he passed away. I hope that's not a thing. Everybody takes over the world.
That's not funny, Steve.
Hey, I never thought about that. That's kind of weird.
I'm reneging on you.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That is too. Ken, JR,
Yeah, I'm backing away from it if that's there. That's the trend. But it is like Larry Muse. I sat down and talked with Larry Muse when I was at that tournament the last year that it was on. And he was like, man, when I first got into catfishing, this was it. This was the biggest thing going on, man. He said, I was excited about it. Phil King, the same way. Phil King got second the year that I won it. And it's just nice to rub shoulders with the people. Them are legends, man. In my eyes, them are legendary people, man. And that's what we're trying to create, an atmosphere for the elite to fish. And we're trying to help the catfish community. Everybody's so worried about crunching numbers. Quit crunching numbers. Let's do this. Let's have fun, have a successful event, love on one another, and build this up in the way it should have been 10 years ago.
You mean how it was 10 years ago? Because it was that way 10 years ago. It was that way 10 years. Everyone that day on that tournament, no one fished. There was one tournament to go to, and it was the World Championship. Hands down, nobody. There was no tournaments nowhere because everybody went to the World Championship.
And that's how
all the traveling people.
That's what, and that's what we're gonna design it to be. And we're, like I told Steve earlier, we're better to crown a world champion than the kind of expo that Steve can put on. I mean, dude, every time I go to the CatCon, listen, I am excited. I'm ready to have a tournament right then. You're rubbing shoulders with some of the best anglers, and you're never going to have another chance at something like this right here, man. It's going to be the best. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. And when you think this will bring Dale Kearns out of retirement, I sure hope it does. Dale Kearns is another legend on the Ohio River, man. I think anywhere he goes, man, the dude was tough, man. He was one with the catfish.
One thing, just like that there, one of the things that you're going to get is kind of the Ohio people stay on the Ohio River, and the Mississippi, they kind of stay on the Mississippi. But for this tournament, they're all coming. Jeff Dodd will be there.
Yeah.
I would almost guarantee you Jeff Dodd will be there. One, for the location, because he does really well there. But it's going to be amazing. And by the way, I wear a size 13 ring, if y'all just needed to know. I mean, I'm just out there. So, but
Jackson said, just glad it brought Ray out of retirement.
Yeah, I told him I was pretty much washed up. I'm not, I'm over it. I'm over the people complaining. You get a guy out there that's winning. There's a guy winning right now in the Cabela's, and there's people saying that he was cheating, and people think, because you get lucky and you catch the fish and you're winning a series and people think you're cheating, there's no room for that, man. I know it's hard everybody out there thinks they're the best, but I promise you, like I said, we was crunching numbers the other day. I think Donnie and Lonnie have 150 trophies out of 600 and something attempts. That's a lot of attempts. Yeah, that's a lot of humble pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we went to the Mississippi River, and I kid you not. And Steve would tell you, I know I went to the Mississippi River for 10 years before I caught a fish.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I grew up on a lake. I couldn't fish. I couldn't do it. And there was no YouTube videos on bumping. So this YouTube stuff is taking it to a whole different level. And that's thanks to Steve. He got it out there. They sharing secrets and stuff.
I know.
It was tight-lipped, son, back in the day. Nobody said nothing. You hear them talk about 24-ounce lead, and you're like, what in the world are they doing with a 24-ounce lead? I don't know I still don't know what they were doing.
And that's one of the reasons that I say everybody has learned something from Steve Douglas. Everybody has. Whether you like him or you don't like him, I guarantee you this, that there's not one catfish angler out there that has not watched one of his videos and learned something from him. Like when I remember going up to Candleton Dam for my first time, and I tried that suspend drifting. I never knew nothing about it. All I thought was you threw the rods out and waited on them to come, right? And I tried that suspend drifting. A rain storm come over, and I put out the rods, man, and we was destroying them. I was so excited. I was running all over it. 15-foot fiberglass boat trying to get to the rods as fast as I could. And here's the thing, man. He's paved the way for a lot of us anglers, man. He's not tight-lipped. He's trying to share and grow the sport.
A different person I know
Oh, really?
He don't ever share any secrets with me.
Shoot,
And he's done disappeared again.
YouTube. You gotta watch YouTube.
Oh, I had to watch YouTube. Yeah, we was fishing tournaments together. Steve had a bass boat when he started.
Yeah, I did.
So I tell you, that's years, man. We've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy that the tournament didn't die. That's what I'm happy for.
Well, it ain't gonna die. It ain't gonna die. We're gonna keep it alive, man. We're gonna have the World Fish Championship for your grandkids, your kids, and we're gonna put it on as long as we can, man. We're gonna bring it back, and we're not gonna tolerate the drama, the crime, the whining. We're not gonna have that at our event. We're gonna have the elite and the best in the business.
Well, I promise you, they'll be there.
People need to kind of get the whole thing. I don't understand that kind of stuff. Who makes it really don't matter. There's guys that work hard, cheat, and there's guys the guys that trying to.
Steve, I don't know if you can hear us, but your signal's not working.
Horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. He's
I can tell you what he was saying. He's saying that people's got to work hard to get into this tournament. It's something you can't buy into, and I love that part of it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go fish. You know, some people say you got to fish 10 tournaments to get in. You got to fish. You're going to have to fish against a good competition to get in.
Yeah, you're going to have to finish in some of the elite tournaments around the country. We're going to have like I talked to them earlier, Rod Riffin's going on the road next year, and we're going to have a stop on the Tennessee River, the Cumberland River, the Mississippi River, and the Ohio River. And here's the thing, though. With me being an elite angler that I fish, all over the world, I fish all over the country, we're going to strategically plan each body of water at the perfect time of the year to ensure that we've got big bags. Everybody's got a good chance at getting into it. The fishing's going to be good, and we're going to have 4 events. And like I said earlier, not everybody can travel on the road. Some of the best catfishermen in the world can't just take off for a month straight. You know what I mean? And travel all over the world, fish 12 different events. So we're going to taper it down to 4 qualifying events, and then we're possibly going to reach out to some of these tournament that are huge mega tournaments and talk to them about them coupling with us and taking a few of their top 10 teams from their events to make sure that we get the 70 to 100 boats each time. There's Steve now. He's back on here, Dad.
Yeah.
Tell us what you were saying.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see.
I had to walk outside. I don't know. I ain't got no internet in my shop anymore. Somebody probably hit a telephone pole or something, but I live in the country, so. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we're good.
Okay. But yeah, I hope we can get people excited for it. That's why I wanted to pair it with this expo. Is we need to make catfishing fans. You look at Bassmasters Classic, and they've got all the fans that come to watch the anglers. We need the anglers to do really well so that the fans can come and pick their favorite team, watch and follow their favorite team. But we also need the anglers to promote themselves a little bit. Like I say, we've got a lot of good anglers out there, but you get up on stage and it's like, I caught them in 30 foot of water on skipjack. There's really no entertainment. There's no entertainment. There's no personalities up there. Now there's a couple guys that can do that, but most of them are not like that. And we need to develop some personalities in the catfishing world to make it a little bit better.
I agree with you.
Does Ray have personality?
Ray got a little personality.
Hey, I'm just laid back. I probably was pretty wild back in my younger days. I thought I was the best thing since sliced bread, but no, I'm out of personality. I just like to fish. This is what's going to be really cool. I've already fished that venue once, and me and I was lucky enough to win it.
Oh, the King Cat one?
Yes, it's going to be a world championship, but people don't know what they're in for when they go through that weigh-in. It's the closest thing that I've seen in catfishing to a bass fishing tournament for the FLWs and the bass and all that stuff. Yeah. I was in Knoxville when the bass tournament, the Bassmasters was there, It was the closest thing to the Bassmasters that a catfish tournament can get. And when I mean there was people just cheering, yelling, I thought there was a couple of them turning flips whenever we pulled that fish out of the live well.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing.
That's where the kids come in. The kids can kind of look at that, and they there's something for them to look forward to fish later on in life when when they get of age. Kids love to look at them fish in the tank, and they want to touch them, all that stuff. So it's going to be a fun time for everybody. Like I say, we're building this for the community, the whole catfishing community, but the whole catfishing community kind of needs to understand that we're also building up another level so that the whole community can find, we've got to have something to look up for. So,
well, let's talk about kids a little bit. I know you probably already have because I got on here late, but
yeah,
I'm going to tell you right now, if you said, hey, now, I'm going to let kids fish, now I wouldn't be fishing this tournament for one reason, because it's my choice. And when you it's okay for him to go to a 20 boat tournament. I don't have a problem with that. But when you get to 100 boats, to this level, there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of things that wouldn't normally go on in your grassroots tournaments. Your everybody with the Cabela's, they've got a pretty good following, but everybody is respectful.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that catfishermen aren't respectful. I'm just saying when you get 100 boats, they get excited and they do something, they normally wouldn't do. And I just don't want my kid around that.
Right.
And that's why I didn't go to Mega Bucks with me, because it's, you're leaving out at 3:00 in the morning, running the Mississippi River.
Right.
There's places for kids to be, and this isn't one of them.
Yeah.
This is for my kid. I wouldn't put him in that situation because I don't.
Well, I tell you, we're not trying to exclude kids from catfishing. That ain't it. It's just we're excluding them from this event. It's only one event in the country. But we also have a lot of stuff at the expo for kids of all ages to do.
Right.
So, we know the kids are a future, but, there's got to be some adult time somewhere down the road as well.
Oh, yeah. And plus he's in school, so I'd have to take him out.
Right. Yeah, because it's going to be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the tournament. So
I just want to mention too that as passionate as this community is about kids, I would hope to see some volunteers. So you can volunteer right here on the website. If you click on the website, nationalcatfishexpo.com, and you click on at the show, you can click on kids activities. And so another thing that takes a lot of time and effort is you need manpower to run these activities. And so Steve needs people to volunteer. And you can click on the volunteer application. You can volunteer as little or as much as you want. And I'm pretty sure that, you will be blessed by that as well. And we can also get, like Steve said, the older kids to come help run the younger kid activities so they get some leadership experience.
Exactly.
So these are all the events. That's why I pulled it up here. I mean, there's a ton of them, more than I've seen. And, I wish this was available when I was a kid,
Yeah. Well, like I say, we want to include the kids.
Is this a trailering event?
People don't understand where we went, where we've come from. Steve, me and you fished tournaments together, 6 boats, 10 boats, right?
Yeah. That
was a big tournament. And then we went from them 6 to 10 boats to the World Championship, which was 70.
Right.
That's what people's not understanding. There was never, when me and Steve, when we were growing up in this, we didn't have a national trail. We had what was that one they tried to run? You got to help me out, Steve.
Duracats.
No, there was another one that was pretty good. He was all over the nation. He had like little places.
US Cats. US Cats. Yep.
Virgil. Virgil. And then it went from Virgil, I feel like, to Cabela's, to Bass Pro, where they was competing against each other.
Yeah.
But still, we wasn't fishing against 70, 80 boats.
No. There wasn't that many people that knew what they were doing out there at that particular time.
Yeah.
And we were still learning too.
Oh yeah, we was. Hey, trust me, we were not talked about. I think the first tournament I ever won, I didn't even have any shoes on. because I didn't think I'm at Pickwick Lake and won a tournament against Phil King. Who all was there? Phil, the Massengills. There was man, who else? Dodd was there.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the heavy hitters, they were there.
Yeah.
David Muse, nothing. Well, I said, I won this thing. Couldn't believe it. I didn't even have my shoes on because I don't ever get on the stage. I've never been on the stage.
Right.
And I'm up there on the stage with no shoes. Hey, but that's how it was back then. It was just a bunch of good old boys fishing.
Oh, I can remember back in the day. I think it must have been 2004, 2006. It was King Cat, and I'm an old country boy. I come down there with my shirt off, and I had Daryl Van Vactor pull me off to the side and say, "Hey, man, you mind putting a shirt on? We're trying to run this a little bit differently." And ever since then, I've thought about it, and it's right. I've kind of looked more professional now. At least I put a shirt on. But that's where guys used to be. I mean, it was tobacco chewing, good old boys just going to having fun. We weren't worried about presenting ourselves to anybody. We were just there to compete against, like-minded guys.
Yeah.
So,
nobody used the depth finder. No one used the depth finder. Only thing they want to know the depth finder to read the depth.
Yeah. And if you remember too, the tournaments back then, there was no live wells. I remember fishing on the Cumberland River. We was using a part of a hoop net to put them in down. And while we fished, they anchored fished. We put the hoop net out, and then when we wanted to change places, we flopped it over in the floor and took off down the river 10 miles, fit it out, put it out again, and it was 7 fish limit back then, or maybe I think it was 10 fish limit back then.
I don't know if this is true or not, but Snuffy had told me that they used to tie to the buoys. The navigational buoys. They would tie the fish up to the buoy and come back and get them.
I never seen any of that, but I do know that we used them baskets a lot. We didn't ever use stringers. We used the baskets and we turned them loose. Yeah. And I don't think there's really any problems, but there wasn't 1,000 anglers out there like there's today. There's so many catfish anglers out there now that's getting into it. It's overwhelming, to be honest. And then, like I say, there's guys that just want to go out and have fun and compete with the fruit jars, and there's guys that want to travel regionally and fish, and there's the guys that want to excel in something more, and that's who we're looking for, those guys. Well, and I think there's 100 of them out there that is interested in doing this. There's nothing worse than going to a weigh-in, standing on stage, and everybody you see out in the floor or out in the audience is anglers. You just kick their butt. They're not going to be clapping and stuff for you. That's not, they might half clap, to show a little something, but there's nothing like them screams and hollers and yippies and yays that everybody puts out. Like, George Young Jr. tournament, you pulled up through there and it gets loud. And that's kind of what we're looking to do.
And how many normally at the expo? How many do we normally have there?
The expo?
Yeah, at the CatCon. How many? At
CatCon, it depends on different years. 10,000 to 15,000 people, and that's vendors and everything.
If you get some of that excitement in there, man, and seeing them big fish and pulling that out, man, it's going to be exhilarating. It's going to be second to none. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many George had down there at Vicksburg, but he didn't have 10,000 for sure. He didn't have 5,000 for sure. That's what I'm saying. On this right here, there's no better place to crown the world champion than at the WCC, at the expo, with that couple. Like, this is going to be nothing else on the map like it, man. It is going to separate itself, and it is. And I hate to use that word, like Steve says. We're not trying to. We got to create something new. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We've got to do some things a little different, and if you don't agree with them, it's okay. We're gonna hug and still be friends, but listen, it may not be for you.
Right.
And the thing about these young guys is what they don't understand. They're getting to fish for some money. Steve, we never fish for money.
No. I mean, we put up $50 and you might win 200.
Yeah, but you have 500 in gas.
Right. Yeah.
So, but they're actually, there's these tournaments are out there like the Winter Blues. It's going to sell out. You're going to sell out. Absolutely. It's going to be good. Yeah. And think about it like this: if you're a real good fisherman, and there are some really good fishermen, but then there's also that lucky fisherman.
Yeah.
And you can luck up and win 100,000.
That's
You
right.
can luck up and win 50,000.
That's right.
I mean, you don't have to be good. In our industry, 2 bites can make you look really good.
Go from a hero to or a 0 to a hero, can't you? In 2 bites.
Yes, sir. Real quick.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess anybody got anything else they want to say? We've been here about an hour and 30 minutes. My phone's about to die, so I don't know how much more we can do. But like I say, we'll come back on, next week or next week after, ever so often, and continue with the questions and concerns and address that. But
Joe Garrison's want to know if we're putting any cameras on the boats, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that later on in the year. We haven't talked to none of our guys yet. We're just trying to lay down the format of this tournament, express any questions at this time. If you got anything to do with this event, there was some speculation going on of some people dreaming up some figures that wasn't correct, and we really want to come on here and address that, man. We're an open book. We've laid it out in black and white for you to understand it. We're here to have a good time, and just like they said, have memories that we can talk about in 10 years from now.
Right.
So what are you paying real quick? What's first, second, third?
50,000 first place, 20,000 second place, and 10,000 third place, right?
That's good enough. Hey, and a ring.
That's right. Yep. And that's the thing people don't understand. And that's why we wanted to get on here and say, man, 100% of the entry fee money is going back into the tournament. It just, you can't expect me and Steve to come out. We don't have that kind of money. We don't have an extra $35,000, $38,000 to pay for this. You know what I mean? So we're having to Steph and Peter pay Paul. And listen, it's all going back into the event. And later on down the road, we're hoping that, hey, we can get to a level where we can pay it all back. We're hoping to get them sponsorships. But until we do, we want to make sure that we have all our T's crossed and our I's dotted. And, hey, we're going to have a heck of a time, a great event. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Something I'd like to see is, like all your vendors, put a little money towards that ring. That would be, because they're part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, we're working through it and we're doing the best we can. There's a lot of ideas, as far as the live weigh-in, I've got some ideas on how I'm going to do that to keep it more upbeat and interesting rather than, a weigh-in's boring if you really think about it. And I watched Alex things the other night and they are boring. But if you can, I've got some ideas that's going to help make it not so boring and you're going to get educated and you're going to learn some things while you're watching the weigh-in. We can touch on that later on down the next video or something, but there's got to be something better than just watching boats come through and every so often you see some fish coming out. In between the boats coming in, I've got
we need t-shirt cannons and bikinis and
I don't know about that.
Ray needs to wear a bikini at the weigh-in. I mean,
all girls, right?
All captains need to wear a bikini and a half shirt.
Hey, I got Melissa in the boat. She'll take care of that. She's been trying to get me to go to the gym. I tell her she got to wear a bikini at this tournament. Should be we definitely going to the gym.
Notice how he said we.
Yeah, I'm married now. It's over. I don't have a boat anymore. I don't have anything.
That's right. I know that feeling.
Yep. She took it all.
Yep. Well, I can't see any questions in there. I did get my internet back, and I'd be glad to stay on if somebody wants to stay on, but we can do it again next week after, and talk about some more stuff, or
I think
we can call it a day today.
You got a good overview of the tournament, and I think, you answered a lot of questions, whether or not, though, the answers were what people wanted to hear or not. They got the answers. I think it's a good stopping point for tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, Ray. Thanks for getting on here, bro, and thanks for your support, man. And
no problem.
For the energy that you put towards it, man. That's the thing. Like, you're second to none as a person, man. Your personality is energetic. We love that. You bring a good thing to catfishing, and you understand, man. It just costs money to put on these events, man. And I wish everybody would understand that of the time, the effort, and the energy it's going to take to make sure that this is the best of the best. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, yeah. There's tournaments out there that's been around for 20 years, and they know who I'm talking about, and they got heck of a sponsors, and they're putting out good money. and you know, it's a low entry fee tournament, and those guys work hard. You guys are working hard, and if we all just get together, it's going to be big. I'm telling you, it's big already, but I'm talking about phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know,
we're gonna get there. It's the first year, man, and I'm sure we'll make some mistakes, but listen, we'll fix them, address them, and move forward, man.
Look, I've never seen anything new or anything that's old for that matter that didn't have any mistakes. And you know, from my experience doing stuff through the catfish community, I've learned that I'll never get everything right all the time.
Yeah,
right.
And you're gonna make mistakes, and that's a part of making it better. And I think it's just important for people to remain patient with that and not let their feelings run their attitude. You know, just you know, hey, made a mistake. We're human, and you know that we learned that for next year. Let me take a note, and next year we'll improve upon it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all have a good evening.
Size 13. Size 13. Just remember that. And nobody show up and fish. I just want to win it all by myself.
No.
We'll get you a size 13 pair of shoes, buddy.
We'll get him a gold bikini size.
Yeah, hey, I promise you, I'd be up there in a gold bikini if I want it, son. It's gonna be on.
I know you would. It'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yep, it's gonna be. Hey, we're gonna blow the top off that baby.
That's
There
right.
you go.
I have my own pyro show
That's right.
out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, y'all have fun, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
All
Kevin,
right.
good time to see you.
Yeah, you too. And we'll next time we'll advertise it a little more. That way people can get in here earlier. I see some people just coming in now. But you know, if you
I was
missed
told
it,
7 o'clock.
well, I can't help you with that.
I know. I was rushing to get here.
Maybe you're on Central Time or something. I don't know.
No, I'm on Eastern, baby.
Well, anyway, we'll do it better. It looks like Steve froze up, so I'll go ahead and end it.
Yep.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Yep.
Steve, go ahead. You want to take us out?
Well, I appreciate y'all coming in and helping me, talking to me. Damien, we're doing something good here, I think. And I appreciate everybody. You know, anybody has any questions, my number's all over the internet. Call me, call Damien. And, you know, we'll open the registration up that date. I think it was September 15th.
Yep.
And we'll go from there. We're looking forward to seeing how we can make this thing roll. So
NationalCatfishExpo.com.
Before we kick off here, and listen, we're gonna all be opening it up on the 15th, and me and Steve are working through some things about maybe entertaining a payment plan or whatever. But we'll get on here before the 15th and discuss that. I promise you. So just know that.
NationalCatfishExpo.com has all the information you need.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can promise you better get your spot because I know of, I think it was at least 30 people that I've talked to already about it. I mean, my phone's been blowing up. They've been calling me.
Yeah, seriously, Steve, you might want to decide what time and publish the time that you're going to open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're gonna, and I'll get with you next week, Kevin. We'll try to promote it a little bit better and get it out there for everybody. But even if they don't get to see it live, they can always go back and watch this video again if they want.
Yep,
that's good.
So, but I got 8% of battery on my deal. Y'all want to hang in there? You can, but I got to get off here, I guess. But I appreciate everybody coming in. We'll see you the next time.
All right, everybody.
Kevin, can you close it out for me?
Yes, sir. Sure will.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.